people are isolated at their homes, and generally the people are living in a nuclear family, so they don't have people in the family itself to interact.
Here, it is very important as parents to first build a connect with the child. Start looking at all the positive things that your son has done.
Get him involved in some of the routines that may be interesting.
I think Parenting has this wonderful concept of called Parenting Live workshops. What's the objective of reaching out to Parenting?
So it is very important for child to listen a lot.
इतना समय हम इस पे बिताएंगे, इतना समय ये करने में बिताएंगे, थोड़ा बहुत ये स्ट्रक्चर लाना बहुत जरूरी है.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to you on this Parentune workshop. My name is Nidhi and I'm excited to host this workshop for you today. Joining us to answer all your queries on how to manage screen addiction of your child, I have with me Child Psychologist Kumkum Jagadish. A very warm welcome to you. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Nidhi, and I'm also very happy to be here, and thank you parents for joining, watching me and asking questions. I hope to make this a very interactive session. Thank you.
So Kumkum, with regards to today's topic, could you start off by telling us that what are the reasons behind children being addicted to their gadgets at all times?
So, as you have noticed that during the last 2 years, staying at home has made children turn more towards their gadgets, right? A lot of research has been done, and it has been noticed that gadget usage has become 3 times more than what it was. There are many reasons for this. One is that staying at home, not able to go out, has caused a lot of boredom in children. They don't know how to spend all that time just being at home. Before it was like, going for classes and then playing outside, doing their favorite sports. And then they would be tired. When they came back, they would eat, go to sleep. There was some sort of a set routine which is lacking. So the boredom and not knowing what to do after online classes turned them towards the screen and gadget usage. That is one. The second thing is, if you look at all the programs that they are watching or all the games that they are playing on their mobile, or also games that they're playing on their laptops, these games are made in such a way where the games are consuming the children. Okay, why do I mean that what do I mean by the games are consuming the children? They are made to attract children. They're made to motivate to play the same thing again and again and again. How do they do this? Once a child is playing some game and he is motivated by it, and he or she is finding it very interesting or entertaining, it gives you a feel good feeling. Okay, and when that feel good feeling comes, when you sort of feel that, it immediately increases the dopamine in your brain. Dopamine is a chemical, it is a neurotransmitter in your brain, and it is a feel good neurotransmitter. It makes you feel happy. It also gives you a sense of confidence when you are doing something and you are winning in the game, or you're getting likes on Facebook or other social media. The number of views, if it is Instagram or YouTube, and you're posting a video, the number of views you're getting is increasing. All this gives you a sense of a dopamine rush, and more dopamine, and the more you get it, the more you want it. So again, this is a reason for increase in screen time. Okay. Third thing is, when they're getting all these number of views, when they're getting all these thumbs ups and likes, it is like a positive stroke. It is said that in a day, a man needs certain number of positive strokes. When I mean man, let's say a human being needs a certain number of positive strokes in a day. And this is one way of getting the positive strokes. Okay. Another thing is, this is used for connecting with friends. Because they're not going outside too much, because schools are closed, they're not meeting with friends. They're not meeting with friends for children means developing their social skills. It is a good way of developing their communication skills. So all this is not possible right now, and social media or gadgets is giving them this time to develop these skills as well as stay in touch and connected with their friends. Okay. Lastly, it is a means of escapism. So if they are feeling low, if there is some sort of a fear, if there is stress, tension, gadgets give you a way of getting lost in in it, and gives you some sort of a relief or some sort of a de-stressing by doing whatever you're doing. But it is not an effective way of de-stressing. It is more about an escapism manner, because you're not looking at the reality. You're not looking at how will I deal with these issues. You are escaping from it. So these are some of the reasons that screen time is increasing.
Right. Thank you so much, Kumkum. So, talking about this, how can one regulate and moderate screen time in their children?
So moderating screen time is very, very important, and it has to be done by parents. This is something that parents have to take it a little seriously, because what happens is because of the way the screen is, because of how it is motivating the child, a child can just get lost by it. And since the child's brain is still developing, their impulse control is not completely developed. They're also not able to control the screen time that they are using by themselves. A lot of times you will see that the screen is controlling them. Therefore, how parents can moderate this is by first setting some rules and regulations on how much of screen time to use, when to use the screen time, and following this in a in a strict manner, okay, in a firm manner. Sometimes some flexibility may be required, but consistency is a must. Second is uh, parents themselves regulating their own screen time. A lot of times what do we see, that we as parents also spend a lot of time either in front of our laptops doing office work, or watching TV, or in front of our mobile, on Facebook, WhatsApp messaging. We are not spending enough time with our children. So it is important for us to start regulating our screen time, so that the children look at us and keep us as role models and learn from us. So having family screen time, or having family rules, screen rules as a family, is very important. For example, you can say, when we are having lunch, we will not look at the screen. When we are having dinner, we will not look at the screen. The screen, we will all keep our screens away. And it is not easy, it's very difficult. So we have to do this in a very conscious manner. For example, a lot of times I also end up watching TV and eating, and then I consciously remember what I'm doing. I stop my TV, I come back outside, sit with my children, and I eat, right? So it is very important for us to do this in a very conscious manner. So rules and regulations, setting family screen time, and then it is also very important for us to look at how else can we occupy the children. Can we play games with them? What are the different board games that we can play with them? Yeah, there are age appropriate board games which you can choose, or you can ask your children to choose. You can also have creativity hour, where each of you are writing stories together, or writing poems, or you are making something out of waste material. So anything, any way where you can use your creativity, that is something that you can do. Because a lot of times the screen or the gadget is reducing your creativity. It is not giving you a chance to think creatively, because everything is right out there for you to just consume. So encourage creativity with them. Encourage community work, engage in community work with them. So go out, see how you can help your society, maybe doing some gardening, or helping senior citizens, or collecting waste material, recycling, planting trees. These are some of the things that you could encourage them to do, and you can do it with them. It could be like a weekend activity, something that you can do after your office hours, out of your work hours. exercising, yoga, encouraging them to do this is also very, very important, because exercises and yoga, it sort of not only makes your body fit, it also relaxes you, it calms you down, it enables you to deal with your stress in an effective manner. And not only that, it increases all these neurotransmitters that are good for you, like the like dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin. So all these are the different ways that you can encourage them to regulate their screen time. Of course, going out and playing with friends, that would be more motivating to them as well.
Right. Thank you, Kumkum. So we have a question from Nisha Manik, who has a 7.5-year-old child from Baroda. She says, "Hello, ma'am. My 7.7 and a half years old son spends close to 10 to 11 hours in a day on gadgets. He does not want to attend online classes, and even if he does attend in other tabs, other things are always open like YouTube videos. As soon as he sees us coming, he opens the classroom. How can he be motivated to reduce his screen time and take studies seriously? Please give us some valuable inputs."
Thank you, Anisha, for that question. It's a very relevant question and something that a lot of parents are struggling with. Now, let us understand one thing, that when children are now getting screen fatigue, okay, they are not enjoying online classes so much. That 2 years of it is really getting to them, and they're all waiting to get back to school. Two is that children are there is no proper interaction with the teacher when it comes to online. When it is a physical school, they are interacting with the teacher, their doubts are being solved by the teacher instantly. So they're interacting with friends around them, so all this is happening, which is not happening right now. And this is the reason why they're looking for other areas of motivation, like playing Roblox or any other games that they play online. Okay, so it is not only one, it is a distraction. Also, two, that it is not very motivating to sit in front of a camera listening to your teacher when there is actually no proper interaction that is going on. Okay. So what you can do is you can sort of encourage him to keep all notifications turned off, keep all games closed, by telling him the pros and cons of keeping these games open, telling him how it will affect him later on in the future, giving him some examples, or stories of, or sometimes you may also need to make up stories of how it has affected somebody, just being in front of playing games while class is going on. That is one way. Another way is to set rules and say that all games can be played in that you will give him time and you will give him permission to play games, but not during class, not when class is going on. If you catch him playing games during class hours, then the rest of the day he does not get to play his games. Okay, so setting some sort of a rule is also very important. Thirdly, what is important is when you go to check on him, and you see that he is closing things, then you do call it out and tell him that, hey, I caught you watching a YouTube video, or I caught you playing this, or I caught you WhatsApping your friends. What's happening? Why are you not paying attention? Okay, so calling it out and telling him in a nice manner without screaming and shouting, and again telling him why it is important. So keep repeating as to why it is important to concentrate in class. Also, what is important is that what you could do is, if possible, if it is something that you can do, have two devices, one device for school only and one device for entertainment. And in the school device, you can block all entertainment channels and only keep the school the platform for the school classroom, the technology that is used in the classroom. If that is possible, you can do that. If that is not possible, what you can do is you can sort of demarcate a place. You can say that when you're sitting in this side of the room, it is for your school, and for all entertainment purposes you sit on the other side of the room, or change the room. Why this is important is because the brain is getting very confused. They're studying on the same device, they are having and they're playing on the same device, entertainment is happening on the same device. So the brain is not able to focus from or switch from what is entertainment and what is studies. So maybe having, telling him that when you start playing games, then change out of your school uniform, sit in another room or another side of the same room, and then play. So trying to make transition the mind from what is school and what is leisure, that is also very important. Another thing that you can do is keep in touch with the class teacher. Tell the class teacher to constantly keep reminding the class about the ill effects of playing games when the class is going on. But this is all that we can do right now. And maybe if you find him doing a lot of online playing games etc., then tell him that he will have to spend at least 2 hours later on catching up with his studies as well. So some sort of consequences should also be there. And if he's doing something right, then be sure to compliment it and be sure to praise it. Tell him what to do in rather than what not to do.
Thank you so much. Hope this answered your question, Mishra. If you have any further questions, please feel free to write them and we shall take them up. We are joined by a parenting expert, child psychologist Kumkum Jagadish, who is taking us through how to handle and regulate screen time in your children in this parenting workshop. Also, could you shed some light upon, how does screen time and gadgets really affect the child's health?
So the screen time, first of all, too much of screen time will harm the child physically, right? Because the child is sitting in one place, it will harm the posture. He may get neck pain, there may be back pain. There is no physical exercise at all, no physical movement. So again, the physical fitness is affected. Okay, there will be a lot of eye strain because of continuously watching the screen. That will be there. Okay, uh, because the child is sitting on the screen all the time, the child may neglect food. So there will not be any proper food intake, which means that the nutritional needs of the child is not met. So again, that could lead to some sort of a health issue, or lack of proper immunity could also be the cause of this. Now what else is happening to the child, how else it is affecting the child? Let's look at the mental health as well. Okay, one thing is, because the child is continuously looking at the screen, he or she does not know what is happening around them. They are completely lost from what the reality is. Okay, they sort of have a tunnel vision, they're only looking at one thing, they're not able to look at different things around them. So they are also missing out on a lot of experiences that they could be experiencing if they were actually present in the here and the now. So they are missing out on, because they are not in the here and the now, they are missing out on social skills, they are missing out on communication skills, they are missing out on creativity skills. So all these various skills are affecting them, which will probably affect the way they are going to they're going to develop. It's going to affect their emotional development as well. So their emotional intelligence will also be affected. So it is important for us to understand the different effects that it is happening, not only in the physical area, but in these areas of social communication, emotional areas of the child as well. Okay, also when they're looking at violence all the time, because a lot of these games are to do with shooting, or some sort of hitting. They're looking at violent behavior, and internally also they are becoming a little aggression can be increasing in them. There have been a number of studies which have been done before, where children who see a lot of violence on TV or play a lot of violent games are automatically show aggressive behavior in their environment. Okay, also the impulse control of the child is being affected, because if you look at any game, or even if you look at watching YouTube video, if you don't like it, in a span of 1-2 seconds they change the video. If they're listening to some song, they change it immediately in a span of 2 3 seconds if they don't like it. So they're not able to control their impulses as well. So and because again another thing is they're not able to read properly, because they're only looking at something, they're not looking at the written script. So again the reading is going to be affected. If the reading is going to be affected, then again the school work will be affected. uh, if when the school work is affected, if they get low marks, or if they see that they're not doing as well, then what will happen, their self esteem and their self confidence will also get affected. So it's all connected, one connected to the other, and the worst of all is because they're sitting in front of the screen all day all night, they're not able to sleep well. There are two reasons for this. One is that there is a dopamine rush. There is so much of dopamine in their brain, and dopamine makes you very active, so they are not able to sleep. Two is that the chemicals, the melatonin that is supposed to be producing in your brain to calm you down, to make you relaxed and to make you sleep, is being affected, one by the dopamine rush, two by the blue rays of the screen. The blue rays that the screen emits is will not allow the melatonin to be produced. So the sleep is less. Again, if the sleep is less, then in the next morning they are going to be cranky, they're going to be aggressive. They will not be able to concentrate on their studies. Okay, they will, if there is no concentration, then they will not be able to understand or remember what they are studying. So again this can lead to a whole lot of other things.
Right. Thank you so much, Kumkum. So, Sagar Madan from Chandigarh asks, Hello, ma'am. My 10 years old daughter, who used to be a very bright child, self motivated, and always keen to study, has changed completely during this lockdown. Her standard answer to us is, I don't care. She does not want to study at all and opens her book at the last minute. She is not worried about her marks anymore and does not care about submitting assignments either. I have tried talking to her and explaining her. She does not listen to her mother at all and answers back to both of us. How can she be made like before, and what is the reason for her this change in personality?
Thank you, Sagar. I can understand, that you must be feeling very worried about this. Yes, one, it could be because of the screen time, where the screen has totally consumed her, and she's not finding anything else as motivating as, looking at the gadgets. And the other, schoolwork could be very demotivating, and she does not like it. But there could also be other reasons for this. One could be that she's finding her schoolwork very very hard, and she's not able to cope up with the class, and she's embarrassed to tell you that she's not able to cope up with the class, or she's not able to ask for help. So it is very important to sit with her, and it is important to communicate with her in a very polite manner, and tell her that I can understand that you're not getting motivated to do your work, or you don't have any interest in your schoolwork. However, this is not how you were last year, and I wonder what has changed. So what is important is empathizing with her rather than criticizing her or judging her for not doing something that she has to be doing. If she knows that you're going to come there to criticize and judge her, then she's not going to share with you, she's not going to open up to you. But just sit with her and tell her that, hey, I understand that this is something that is not you're not able to do, you're not able to give in your schoolwork. Can I help you in any manner? I really appreciated it last year when you were doing so well in class. Suddenly this year there is a change, and I know that you are capable of doing a really good work in school. So what's happening? What's affecting you? Ask her what questions more than why questions, because when you ask her why questions, it can be judgmental. So whatever question you want to ask her, change start with a what is the reason for this. So do that. And what you can also do is you can get in touch with the school teacher as well, and understand from the school teacher as to what the reasons may be, because sometimes you will also understand, is it only your daughter who is doing this, or are there other children in the school who are also facing the same problem? Is there something that the teacher can do as collectively for the whole school? Third, do set rules for the mobile time, for gadget times. Set these rules with your daughter. Tell her that you read how harmful and how effective, how harmful and how dangerous it is, and I'm sure she knows it. So tell her that you're really worried about her health, and you would like to help her, and to get and let her set some rules. Let her set some routine for herself. You can add to it, but let us set it and make sure that, and you may have to nudge her a bit to follow this rule or this routine. If she's demotivated, make it a family project where even you and your wife as a family, or the whole family together, if it's a extended family, and if it is possible, the whole family together are following some screen time rules and gadget rules. So that is something you can do as well. If this is persisting, then yeah, I would recommend that you do please visit a professional, a psychologist, who could talk to your child and figure out what is bothering her, and see if there could be a behavioral change.
Thank you so much, Kumkum. Hope we answered your questions, Sagar. If you have any further questions, please feel free to write them. Anvesha Tiwari from Lucknow says, what can parents do to get their child de-addicted from gadgets? Both my children, 11 and 8 years old, are glued to their gadgets when my husband and I are away for work. We reach back home by 8 p.m. and they start doing their assignments and homework at 12 midnight and make us run through the house to help them arrange things like last minute maps, stationery items, etc. We have even tried taking away their gadgets, but they end up saying that they won't study if you take away our gadgets. Kindly tell us how can we deal with them?
Thank you, Anvesha. So I understand that you have a 8 years and an 11-year-old son, and both of you are working, and it is not easy on both of you to keep an eye on what's happening at home as well as your work. You must be quite exhausted when you come home to sit and manage your children's study after that. One thing is, I feel that your children know that they can get away by threatening you. So that is something that will need to stop. You may have to show some firmness to them and say that even if you do take away their gadgets, then and if they say that they are not going to do their homework, well, then that is up to them, because they are the ones who will get scolded by the teachers. And is that something they want? Once in a while, if they do get scolded by their teachers, they may understand, and they themselves may sort of change that behavior in them. It is important for you to make them independent, and not be dependent on your return from work, so that they can start doing the work. For this, what you can do is tell them, first set routines, set rules, and set routines. This you will have to do with your children's help, because they need to feel like they own it. They need to feel like they are responsible for the rules and routines. So let them come up with their own rules and routine, which you will supervise. Then be consistent in following these rules and routines. They have to be consistent in that. So if they're saying that after class they want a few hours of rest, and then they do their homework, and then they do gadgets, then that is fine. But if they say that after class, we are going to do the gadgets and then homework, then that may not be fine. So you can use the gadgets as a sort of a consequences for them doing their homework. And if they don't do that homework, then their gadget time will definitely be cancelled, and you should be firm about it. um, they should know that they cannot get away from that. Initially it may be a little difficult, you may have ups and downs, they may be crying, but once they know that you are a little firm about it and you mean business, then they will definitely start changing their ways. Second, what you can do is make them every day after school, ask them for a to-do list. Spend some time, maybe around 5-10 minutes on the phone with them, and ask them what are the things that they taught you in school today. What is the homework that you have to complete? What is the studies that you have to complete? Let them give you a to-do list, and then let them tick off on the to-do list as they go through their day. And in the end, check if all everything on the to-do list has been completed. The to-do list can also have playing games on my phone. It can be part of it, but that cannot be the only thing that they will be doing the whole day. Okay. If they don't finish if they spend too much time on the phone or on their gadgets and forget to do the other things on the to-do list, the next day they can have less gadget time. Okay. Or maybe or if it is like if it's a Friday, then you say that the weekends, they will have to sit and complete all that they couldn't complete, and only then they can sort of play on the gadgets. So on the weekends, when you are there with them, it would be better that you are constantly regulating their gadget time until they get into the habit of regulating it by themselves.
Thank you so much. So, also to our parents, in case you found this workshop helpful, you could subscribe to Parentune Plus membership, which brings to you plus lives and workshops with value savings and much more benefits. So, Vanshika Bhadodria from West Delhi asks, for how long a 6-year-old and a 3.5-year-old should be allowed to be on screen other than online classes? What other activities can we plan for them during the day so that they don't get addicted to the screen?
Thank you, Vanchika. That's a very nice and relevant question to ask. A 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, right?
A
If I'm
six
not
year old.
6-year-old, a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, the screen time other than their online classes, you can just limit it to 1 hour and not more than that. While they're looking at screen time, let it be something that is, maybe it could be like 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, and not 1 hour at a stretch also. Or you can break it up into 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes throughout the day. When they're looking at the screen time, let them if they're looking at videos, let it be education specific, relevant videos which will help them in their language skills. So it could be nursery rhymes, it could be any sort of video which is specially developed for that age group. So let it be age specific videos, educational videos that will encourage them to be creative, that will encourage them to think a little. Okay. Two is that you can do a lot of other activities with them throughout the day, which does not involve the screen. It could be things like, let's just singing together, dancing together, taking a walk, picking, you could especially with a 6-year-old, you could say, you could make a list of a lot of things that she can collect from a garden, and you can go hunting for it, like a scavenger hunt. You can play at home. You can be very creative and you can do role plays. You can act as if you're going to the park, or you can act as if you're going to the zoo. You can act as if you are, packing the bag with sandwiches, filling up your water bottle, catching a bus, paying, buying the tickets, going to the zoo, looking at the animals and talking about how the animals look and how the animals are behaving. This you can do with both your 3-year-old as well as your 6-year-old, and they will really enjoy it a lot. So being creative at home. Of course, you can read books to them, read stories to them, show them picture books. um, you can also, let them help you in your house. Let them help you when you're cooking in the kitchen. They could wash the vegetables for you. The 3-year-old could put the vessels back in its place. Or you could, when you're cooking, you could ask them, your 6-year-old, you can ask your 6-year-old to look around the kitchen and read all the different ingredients, or read all the different labels on the various bottles. So when I'm saying ingredients, you could look at all the smaller words, even if it is like, let's say, a bottle of some sort of a child drink. What is the label? What are the different letters written over there? Okay, can she phonetically read it out? So these are the different things that you can do even as you're working. Let them help you in folding the clothes. Let them help you in putting things away. So there are a number of activities that you can do with them at home, which will help them develop their motor skills, help them develop their social skills, help them develop their communication skills.
Thank you so much, Kumkum. How important is the quality of content that a child is watching, and how can we take care of that?
Yes, the quality of content is very, very important, because again, watching something which is not age appropriate could cause a lot of stress in the child, because the child is not understanding it. It could cause tension. It could, watching a lot of violence will also cause violence at home. I had a client who would watch a lot of violent TV, where they are hitting and beating and fighting. And at home also, he would that violent behavior would continue. So when we cut down the violent screen time, and we started showing things that were more age appropriate, we could see a lot of calmness in the child. Or, instead of watching TV, when the mother started taking the child out and doing other activities with the child's behavior also changed automatically. So the quality of the content is very, very important. Try to watch educational quality content, which will help the child in developing their language skills.
Thank you so much, Kumkum. Sojal Mehra from Delhi asks, Ma'am, recently my daughter, who is 11 years old, has joined a WhatsApp group wherein few of her classmates are there. Just to join this group, she wanted a mobile phone. Now she is chatting in that group for hours and does not even want to exit it. There are messages received on that group throughout the day and even at odd timings at night. Also, she started to be up till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the night. What can be done to curtail her this newly acquired chatting addiction? And she listens more to her friends than us. What can we do in that case?
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't
Sojal.
get that.
Sojal.
Sujai. Sojal.
Sojal.
Sojal. Thank you, Sojal. This is a very important question. A lot of children these days are really getting addicted to WhatsApp chats and other chats on their gadgets. What is the first thing that is very important is for you to understand that yes, this is the age, 11 years, pre-teens, towards the teenage years. Friends become more important, and what friends say become very, very important. However, they also equally need the support of their parents, and they crave the support of their parents. Okay. Also, this is the age when their impulse control is not completely developed, though their brain is developing, though their thinking is changing, but the impulse control and the part of the brain that deals with their emotions is not completely developed yet. And that is why you will see that there will be a lot of mood changes. They will just do things their way. They will not be able to understand why you are saying something, and what is good for them and what is bad for them. So it is important for you to con- first what you can do is you need to connect with her. You need to connect with her. What do I mean by this? If she thinks that you are always trying to control her, or if she thinks that you are always trying to put her down, you're trying to criticize her, and you're trying to judge her, then she will not listen to you at all. What you can do is you can have a chat with her. So who are the get to know what she's doing on WhatsApp. Tell her that, hey, I would like to understand. I see you spending a lot of time. It must be so interesting for you to be with your friends all the time now, especially since you can't see them physically. What are some of your friends saying? What is their routine? How do they go about their day? So just try to connect with her by trying to understand her. Two is, tell her, I know you have told her this, how important, and how harmful it could be not to have a lot of screen time and to be on WhatsApp chat all the time. I know you would have spoken to her about sleeping properly at night, etc., but she's still not listening to you. So it is important for you to see if there is somebody else who she may listen to you, like maybe grandparents or even a teacher or maybe a psychologist or a counselor, a professional, or even it could be a doctor that can talk to her about the importance of sleeping on time, the importance of not chatting during the night, and the importance of keeping your chats limited or any gadget use limited. So look at somebody who can talk to her and who can explain to her these things. Three, do have rules and regulations for your mobile time. You also follow those rules and regulations so that she will role model you, and she knows that she's not the only one who's being restricted, and there is a restriction for everybody. So again, this is a way you are connecting with her. The time when she's not on her phone, you must appreciate her for that and say that I really appreciate that you did not spend so much time on your phone today. When she is completing her homework, appreciate it. When she's helping you at home, appreciate it. So increase the praise that you give her, increase the appreciation that you give her. Again, that will be a way of connecting with her. Okay, try these things. And yes, if do set a family mobile time where all mobiles will be out in the hall, or some other room, and nobody gets the mobile in the night. Do in the rules and regulations, do include a sleeping time, and do be firm about it. So there are some things that you have to hold on and be firm and say, no, this is something that as a parent I need to protect you. Talk to her about how the mobile is taking charge of her and taking control of her rather than she controlling the mobile, and say how you need to protect her. Her behavior should not be personalized to her. Take her and take the behavior and separate them, and tell her that there is nothing wrong with you, but there is something wrong with this behavior and how this behavior is harming her. So these things will sort of maybe help you to open up some to connect with her and to make her reduce her screen time. If not, then get a professional to talk to.
Thank you so much, Kumkum. So Lakshmi Priya asks, "Hello, madam. When should a child be given his personal phone? My son will be turning 9 soon and wants a phone. He has been asking us since the beginning of his new session, but I'm scared if he gets addicted to it and stops studying at all. If this is not the right age, how should we convince him as he's just not ready to listen and comes back to the phone topic again and again?"
See, this is a very, very debated topic. Which is the right age to give your child a phone? It's usually recommended that don't give it to them. Hold on as much as you can. But if what happens is, if all their friends are having phones, and then they are getting, then they may he may become, the friends may be making fun of him, or he may be feeling left out. So just what you can do is just talk to the other parents and ask them that, have you given a phone to your child? uh, how are you controlling his phone time? So just sort of take a survey of all the parents in your class, or at least his friends, and understand why did they give a phone in such a young age, and how is the phone helping them. So then this is something that you can talk to about your talk to also with your child, telling him as to why his friends have a phone, or why they don't have a phone. Also talk to him about your fears about why you don't want to give him a phone. And if you feel after doing all this that, okay, let me just give him a phone, then you need to draw up strict rules about phone usage. You need to keep a tab on the phone, you need to put parental controls on the phone, on the apps, and and you need to negotiate the phone usage with him, and not give in to all his demands all the time. Nidhi, we can't hear you.
Sorry, yeah. Thank you so much, Kumkum. We are joined by a parenting expert, child psychologist Kumkum Jagadish, who is taking us through how to manage screen addiction in your child in this parenting workshop. Bani Ved asks, Hello, my husband passed away when my daughter was 8 years old, and now she is 9.5 years. Whenever I scold her for something, for instance, watching mobile phone, she tells me, Papa wouldn't have had stopped me. She is comparing me all the time and is telling me that I'm not doing a good job or I'm being too strict with her. But that's not the case. I'm genuinely concerned for her. How do I communicate my feelings to her and make her understand me better? Kindly give me valuable inputs.
Thank you, Bani, for that question. It must be very difficult for both you and your daughter, and you are trying your best to be a single parent and take care of your daughter. It may also be very stressful for her, and she may also be feel missing her father. But that does not give her an excuse to use that against you. She's taken that as a tool, and she's using that to sort of get her way through, and you need to call it out, and you need to show her that that is, and you need to call it out and tell her that that is not going to work, because till now it has probably been working with her. You may be feeling guilty, or you may be feeling sad, or you might may be feeling like, okay, let me just give in. She must be feeling sad, she must be really low. But she started using that to sort of get her way, and that is that is a behavior that you may need to change. So it is important for you to say that, yes, I agree that Papa would probably have done this to you, but Papa and I would have discussed these things together, and whatever is right for you, that is what we would have done. Papa would not like it if you do, if there are things that you do which are harmful for you, then I'm sure Papa will definitely not like it. And now I am trying to and now I would like to, if Papa was there, he should feel proud of you, and I would like to be part of that. And I am helping you to be a good human being. I'm helping you to be a healthy human being. And these are some of the things that is required, like not watching a lot of phone, not watching a lot of TV, because these are the things that will harm you. Talk to her about the harmful effects of it. Talk to her about how the mobile has been controlling her. Talk to her about how it will affect her in the future, and how all these will lead to a lot of stress, and maybe a lot of anxiety. She may not be able to complete or achieve her goals, and Papa will definitely not be happy if all these things did happen to her. And you are there now to protect her, you are there now to see her. So she has no other option but to listen to you, and whatever you do, you're only going to do it for her good. Telling her all these things, then you say, also what you are feeling is important to me. I want you to feel supported by me. So let's together sit and understand how much time you can spend on the phone, how much time you can spend outside the phone. So set some rules, set some routines, set some be very clear as to that she has to finish her homework, she has to study, and only then she can watch this phone. Sometimes there can be some flexibility in the routine, but consistency has to be there.
Thank you so much, Kumkum. So, also talking about this, what is the ideal distance which a screen should be watched by a child?
So usually they say an ideal distance is around 28 inches from the eyes, or they say it's like a one arm distance that you can keep in order to watch the screen, if it is a tab or if it is a mobile or the laptop. For a TV, they say around 7 to 10 feet would be an ideal distance. Yeah, so so having some distance is important. It will also reduce the eye strain. They also say that if you're all the time in front of the screen, then after 20 minutes, do take your eyes off the screen, look away outside the window for around 20 seconds, for at least around 20 meters away. So all this will help you in your taking care of your eye strain.
Thank you. So, in case you found this workshop helpful, you could subscribe to our Parentune Plus membership, which brings to you plus lives and workshops and value savings and benefits. So, also talking about this, Kumkum, when should a parent really seek professional help? Some warning signs to help them understand that?
Yes, so if you see that your child is all the time in front of the screen, and there's a lot of irritation, there is anger, shouting, there are a lot of relationship issues. The grades are dropping. The assignments are not being submitted. The child is not eating properly, so there's a lot of weight loss, or the child is not exercising properly. There is lack of sleep. The child is only craving for mobile time, TV time, gadgets all the time, and the child is going out of their way to do all these things. It is coming in the way of their day-to-day life, day-to-day activities. Then yes, please do reach out to a professional. It is very very important, because a lot of times they may not listen to you as parents, because they feel that parents are always trying to control us, parents are always trying to put us down. But they may probably listen to somebody whom they feel is a professional, or somebody, an outsider. So just to do reach out to them.
Right. Thank you so much, Kumkum. I encourage you to watch the entire video on Parentune to understand how to manage stubbornness and backtalking in your child. Kumkum, could you give us top three do's and don'ts to manage a child's addiction, screen addiction?
Sure. So first do is set rules, because rules are very very important. It gives a direction to your child. It tells your child what to do, what not to do. Sometimes when there are rules, it will also help as it regulate the emotions. For example, if you're on the if you're walking on the street and there is a red light for you, you will stop, right? And you will let the people who have the green light to go. You're not going to get angry because suddenly you have had a red light. You will say, okay, it is managing your expectations. So the rule will help you manage expectations. Then the second thing is, keep reminding your child about the rules. Your child can forget, okay, because their brains are still developing. They can forget, or their impulse control, they do not have impulse control, so they may try to break a rule. So keep reminding your child that, see, this is what you have to do. See, you're sitting and watching the phone, even though it is not the time for you to watch the phone. You have not completed your homework and you're still watching the phone. So keep reminding your child, keep encouraging your child every time the child is doing what they have to do, rather than judging and criticizing and scolding them for doing what they don't have to do. Okay. So keep all your and then third is, keep all your parental controls in check. Make sure that all the apps have parental controls, so they're not looking at anything that can harm them. Also talk to them uh, about all the cons of internet, all the dangers of the internet. Talk to them about all that. Talk to them about cyberbullying. Talk to them about how they could get you know how people could visit their webs, get into the computer or get into their phones, and how they can steal data. So give them clear pros and cons of the internet as well. So yeah, these are the three do's.
And with regards to the don'ts,
So the don'ts is like, use do not use your screen time as a babysitter. That is where all the trouble will start. You are using it for your own sort of a need, where you want your child to be sitting quietly and watching something. And that's when the child will think that, okay, I don't have to play, I don't have to feel bored. If I feel bored, then the screen will entertain me. Let the child get bored. Sometimes many times boredom is good for the child, because it helps the child to be very creative. Okay. So don't use the screen as a babysitter. Do not ignore the hours of your child's screen time. Do not think that, yeah, let him watch, it's okay, let him watch, or let her watch. Don't ignore it. Keep reminding them, keep a check on the screen time. Keep telling them when they have gone overboard. And don't give in to their tantrums. Never give in to their tantrums. Be firm, set the rules and be consistent with it.
Thank you so much, Kumkum. In case you found this workshop helpful, you could subscribe to this Parentune Live Plus membership, which brings to you plus lives and workshops with value savings and more benefits. Thank you, Kumkum, and all of us for joining in today.
Thank you. People are isolated at their homes, and generally the people are living in a nuclear family, so they don't have people in the family itself to interact.
Here, it is very important as parents to first build a connect with the child. Start looking at all the positive things that your son has done.
Get him involved in some of the routines that may be interesting.
I think Parentune has this wonderful concept of called Parentune Live workshops. What's the objective of reaching out to Parentune?
So it is very important for child to listen a lot.
इतना समय हम इस पे बिताएंगे, इतना समय ये करने में बिताएंगे, थोड़ा बहुत ये स्ट्रक्चर लाना बहुत जरूरी है.